Hi, Chris. How you doing? So I got a few things up here, and I looked at this video. Thank you. That was awesome. I thought that was cool. Oh, and I wanted to show you something, Jing, too. This is Jing, www.techsmith.com, and that's Jing features. So you can download Jing if you ever want to do a screen capture. Do this exactly what you did. Create a little video. I think Jing is well. I know it's free, but I think it's a 5-minute video limit. And so, for example, yours was only three something. So, well within those parameters, and it's free too. So that's an awesome word right there. Um, so you asked some questions, and I have my notes up here. And okay, so it sounds to me like you just kind of want to pick my brain, and that's awesome. I get it. That's really cool. I think that is a really awesome way of learning, and kudos to you for recognizing that would help you. So let me show you well, first of all, you said the page size. How do you choose the page size? I think there's a number of different things that goes into consideration there, and most of it is foresight and planning, okay? What is the piece going to be used for? It really has a lot to do with how big it's going to be and how it sits in your hands. For example, if you're sitting at a event where there's a lot of fumbling going on, so you're like maybe a program at a sporting event, you're gonna want that to be a decent size. You're gonna have people that are fumbling around, turning pages, dropping it, picking it up, turning around, wondering where it's at, sticking it in their pockets. So you're gonna want that to be a pretty decent size. Whereas, let's say a playbill, for example, for a theater, it doesn't have to be because they're only going to be reading it when the lights are on. Okay, there's not going to be fumbling. It's going to be put down somewhere for the performance and probably saved for later. So that can be more of an indication of what size that would be. So really, the page size. Now, I always recommend that you get. I believe in traditional design, so I'm going to harken back to the golden section. And I think the Ellen Lupton book, specifically the chapter on grids, does a wonderful job with the golden section. If not, there's thousands of resources online, and it will describe. Now, I personally think that that's a wonderful page size. I believe in that as the perfect ratio. As such, I'll try to get as close to that as possible, depending on production requirements and how pesky the client is actually going to be. Production requirements have a lot to do with it, a lot to do with cost. Page size really has 8.5 by 11 is going to be cheaper than, I shouldn't say that. I should say regular page size, page trim, whatever size is a derivative of other page sizes is going to be cheaper than a custom size for sure. Okay, and then so I have here page size, golden, and usability, and I talked about both of those, okay? Now, your next question was that you kind of just wanted to see how this grid works and how I decide how I'm going to use a grid. And I think, you know how I feel about using examples. So I put this little presentation together for you, and I want you to look at something here, okay? This is what I want to look at this page right here. Now, you remember my comments about this page, about this big, heavy block right here, sucking all the energy out of the page and just saying, look at me, no, don't look at anywhere but me. We've all been to a party with that person, right? No, look at me, no, look at me, no, look at me, no, look at me, okay? Not giving anyone else a chance to get their attention. And that's because of the weight of this huge blue block behind the pretty large sans serif type. Okay, so what I've done is I've just taken this, and I think that was a spread, and I didn't do this with your PDF because remember, I don't think that showed up as spreads, but let me show you what I've done here. I've put this page together to represent this page here, and let me see if we can, I want to get this in here so that you can see both of these next to each other so we can see what's going on. Darn it. Oh yeah, this is working just perfectly. Okay, there we go. So here's our page size, and look at that. So I can get that a little bit more like that. So that's the end of that page. That's the end of that page, and there we go. So, all right. So as we can see, I've duplicated this page as closely as I could. But I want to show you what I would do. This is what I would do. I mean, I didn't even draw a grid on this page. And I would. I mean, that's the first thing I do in any project is to figure out the grid. And what size the grid, how complex the grid, it depends on how much information there is. There's not that much information here. There's 2 images, 3 captions, a headline, a subhead, and 2 columns of body copy, and a pull quote. There's not that much there at all. So we don't need a very complex grid in a 12, I would imagine, in a publication like this. Now, if you have something that has a lot of information and a lot of different images and all sorts of different textual, you're going to think about a more complex grid. Okay, so this grid here, basically, as I said, the first thing I want to say is this, is that, Chris, grid is nothing without alignment. It's nothing. Don't even do it. If you're not going to use alignment, don't even use a grid. Okay, so what I've done here, just to exemplify that point, is I've not used a grid, and I'm showing you alignment without a grid, and this is a nice looking page, you got to admit, right? So why does this page work and this doesn't? Let's take a look. All right, so it's all about alignment and organization. We can take a look at this, and this is basically the same page, Chris. Look, I got headline, headline, subhead, subhead, 2 columns of type, 2 images. On the next page, I've got your 2 columns of type, your image, and we can go ahead and we can put a pull quote right in there, of course. Okay, so same page, right? But this one is more harmonious because everything aligns with something and everything is a derivative of something. Now, I drew that last one pretty quick, and I drew this pretty quick. So basically, as your horizontal and vertical grid, okay, so theoretically, this box here is twice the width, the height of this box, right? I mean, mathematically, that would stand to reason, okay? Conversely, this box here intersects this box at about 1/3 of the way up. Okay, so do you see how everything is an alignment? Everything is a derivative of itself, okay? You got this nice white space up here on this page. So there's no, I mean, there's no mistaking the fact that this page is completely related to itself, okay? But here, we're just kind of wondering, is this a continuation? Where did this come from? Why is this bigger than the type? Why are these sticking out of the margins? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm going to save this right here. I'll tell you what, I'll screenshot this and I'll just I'll submit it with this, and then you can just kind of take a look at it. Okay, I hope that helps, man. And good job with the video. Good thinking, man. And keep that jing in mind. That'll help. Thanks, Chris. Okay, I'll talk to you.